Thank you for everyone attending our first information session, and congratulations for getting the offer. My name is Niren. I am the Managing Director of the Consulting Co., the consulting division at the Capital Placement. I have my colleague Julia and Lucy with me today, and I'll be covering the history of Capital Placement, Consulting Co., and some information about this program. Lucy will be covering the client industries, and Julia will be covering the values and expectations. So why this presentation? Over the past few weeks, we have received about 3,500 applications for this program, and of course, a lot of you are asking a lot of questions, and it was incredibly difficult for us to answer every single question. So we thought about hosting this info session so that you are there before you enter into the program. And in this presentation, at the end of the presentation, you will have the opportunity to ask any question you want. And if you want to talk to us, you can just unmute yourself at the end of the presentation and ask your questions, or you can just put it in the chat box, but we prefer if you just unmute and ask the question. And also we recommend switching on the video if you want to kind of meet each other, and but keep your microphone mute during the presentation. So before we get into the detail, we wanted to thank MiSK Foundation and their staff for supporting this program and make it possible. So let's get started. So let me the presentation. Okay. So Capital Placement was founded in 2012. Since then, they have helped students and recent graduates to get work experience and cultural experience abroad. They are working with over 1,500 companies in New York, London, Singapore, and India. They played a significant part in this program with MiSK, and they helped us build entire programs and everything. So thanks to the team at Capital Placement. And second, the Consulting Co. You guys might be receiving email from Consulting Co. So the Consulting Co. is a consulting division of Capital Placement, and we are a management consulting firm. We work closely with clients, provide solution to their business challenges. Some of the key area that we focus on the Consulting Co. is growth and strategy. We also do implementation in selected projects, creating business models, providing technology solution to our clients. We do market analysis, help clients with market positioning, and also organization structure. At the Consulting Co., we focus two goals. The first one is providing solution for our client's problem and delivering a high quality project. Our second goal is to make sure that our students and interns are personally and professionally developing during their time with us at the Consulting Co. So about this program, I'm sure you guys looked at the MiSK website, but let me go into detail. Sorry, I'm on the wrong slide. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So about this program, this particular program is delivered in partnership with MiSK and Capital Placement. So this is an 8-week remote internship program where you will be gaining some key skill and understand what is it like to be a management consultant. Throughout the course of the internship, we are expecting you to develop key skill, including problem solving, effective communication, data analysis, and more. We are expecting you to understand what is it like to be a management consultant. And we want you to develop individual and team working skills. Finally, the program is developed in a way that you will get mentorship, guidance, and feedback from our consultants and our teams. We hope that will allow you to develop personally and professionally. So in terms of how do we do this, our interns and consultant will be working in a group. Typically, group consists of 5 to 6 interns and a consultant. Just to clarify, you will be working directly with the Consulting Co., not with our client location or not with our clients remotely. So you'll be supervised by our consultant directly, but there will be client calls and things like that. So A lot of you asking question about the working hours. So your work hours will be Monday to Thursday, 9 to 5 UK time if you are working with our UK team. But if you are working with our US team, then you'll be working 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time. And Fridays are flexible, so you don't need to stay online on Fridays, but there might be an instant consultant might want to have a call with you, set up an individual meeting. So if that's the case, then you will need to stay online. And also, if you have a client meeting, then you are expected to be there for that client meeting. And in terms of communication, of course, working remotely, there is a lot of barrier, there's a lot of challenges. So we use Microsoft Teams and Teams for remote working. So we expect you to stay online during the business hours, and unless you have some other commitment which you already communicated with the consultant, then that's no problem. And also you will be receiving the consulting call email address. So all the communication must be, whether you're speaking to our clients or consultant or anything, you should use the consulting call email address to communicate with us. And for the collaboration, we expect you to use Microsoft Teams. We will go into the detail about technology and what happened during the induction week, which will be 5th of October. Now I'm going to pass this presentation to Lucy. She will be explaining the structure and more about our clients and the industries.
Thank you very much, Niran, for introducing everyone to the company and the purpose of this programme. So hello everyone, I'm Lucy, and my role is technically to build relationships with clients all over the world and help them see the value of interns and our internship programme in particular. So of course this has all been on a remote basis recently, but I myself and the employers have been really positively surprised by the relationships that you are able to build over a digital platform and the solutions you can achieve. So please be rest assured that the skills that you will take away from this project will be no less than what you may achieve in a normal business environment. So this leads me on to go through the structure and overview of the programme, and I'm going to go through what you can expect to be doing during your 8-week programme, the industries and clients you can expect to be working closely with, and the qualities and focus areas that we expect candidates to align with. So here we have the structure and the overview of the project. So the initial stage of the project will involve being teamed up with fellow consultants and a principal consultant, and you will then be allocated to a client project. So please ensure that you make the effort to get to know your peers, because building relationships is one of the most critical aspects of business success and the foundation of trust. So it's really important that you have the team spirit from the initial stages of the project to really drive the success of your project. So the second stage of the project will help you further build your working relationship with the team as you begin to delve deeper into your project and really gain a deeper understanding of the solution you are working to provide your client with. The third stage focuses on kind of what is fundamental to almost every industry in the market, and that is data. So you'll be researching and analysing different parts of the project to really try and build a solution, and this is where you can really make an impact as well in your projects by using your creativity and innovation to dig out evidence that will support an effective solution to the client. So the fourth stage is the tasks and the briefings, and this stage will really kind of challenge and build your project management skills. So you'll be able to show that you're able to manage additional tasks as you settle into the project and near the solution stage. You'll also be able to attend virtual project briefings with the consultants and your team to update each other on your findings and the project progress. So the fifth stage is the implementation, and this is really where your hard work will come to life. So you'll be able to support the implementation of the proposed solution with your project team and other peers that are involved in the project. And this is your chance to really showcase your professional impact on your client's business operations. Now the final stage is the feedback stage. So we look at, you'll be attending virtual client meetings and you'll be collecting feedback on the project solution that you've been working on. So this will include participating in team meetings, reviewing personal progress, and looking at your professional development. So you'll really reflect on the project as a whole in this stage, how your solution has impacted the client and how you have developed yourself, not only professionally, but personally as well. So next up, we look into the consulting industry examples that we have. So we believe it's really important to connect with a varied mix of industries to strengthen our performance as a firm. So the majority of our clients are in the following industries that you see on your screen here. So every industry will provide a varied and exciting learning experience for you over the course of the 8 weeks, and it's also a really good opportunity to discover more about the professional world as a whole. So next up, we're looking into the kind of consulting client examples, who you might be expected to be working with. So we work closely with clients across a range of corporate entities, social enterprises, startups, charities, and SMEs. So these clients are based all over the world, but we mainly have clients in the USA, Europe, and Asia. So here you can see on the screen a handful of the clients that we work with, and you're very much welcome to look into them more after this presentation if you wish. So now let's focus more on you as a candidate and how your qualities will contribute to the success of this project. So you have been selected to take part in this programme, and you were chosen because you initially demonstrating the following 4 qualities, which is on the next slide. Frozen. Okay, so analytics, so this quality really reflects your ability to structure problems, analyse data, and find unique and creative solutions to formulate actionable recommendations. The next one we look at is curiosity, and curiosity is known for helping people to make better choices. So it really reflects your passion in finding the most effective solution for your client and drives challenging questions through rigorous research. Entrepreneurship is the creation or extraction of value, and you should possess the skills to capture opportunities by being proactive, creative, and striving for optimal results. So the final quality we look at is collaboration, and collaboration is key to success. So being able to demonstrate your communication and relationship building skills within your team and to the client will really drive the success of the project. But please ensure that your communication and collaboration output is respectful at all times. This project is really an opportunity to focus on driving these qualities into a professional environment, and we really do look out for self-motivated team players who display passion and enthusiasm for the programme and client solution. So now we look at our focus areas. So with the organisational structure, this really looks at analysing the current organisational structure, and it's the forefront of developing a business solution. So it's key to operational, optimizational, and internal drive within a company. So determining your marketing position is also fundamental to work out the target audience and the competitive price strategy for an organisation. This is where the research you conduct in the project will really be able to help design an effective product focus group and pricing strategy for an organisation. And this is something that you really need to drive your business in a competitive market. So no business can be comfortable in the present if they're not preparing for the future, and a future vision is the heart of organisational stability and ensures a leading edge over competitors. This is where analysing an organisational current state and crafting a realistic and time-structured vision that is aligned with the organisational goals is key. So next we look at the growth strategy and implementation, and we know that businesses can't float to be successful. They need to grow and to stay ahead of the competition, and this is where you'll work on your project to formulate a growth strategy that is key to achieving the short and long term goals within an organisation. So by working closely with your team and the client, you'll be able to identify the organisational issues and implement a course of action to achieve the strategic goals of the organisation. So considered a vital view of the organisation, the business model is essential for new and well-established enterprises. So you'll work really closely with your team and the assigned organisation to determine the most critical areas to success of the organisation's future and develop a really good business model based on this. So next up we look at market analysis, and this is where you'll be analysing new markets, and it helps you stay ahead of competition and determines the success of an organisation's growth and expansion. So you work really closely again with your team to provide clarity on the market strategy. And finally, we look at technology, which is the forefront of operations. And in the modern world, and this year especially, it's shown how critical it is for technology to be continuously developed and integrated in business operations. So you must learn from your data, create innovative digital experiences, or make the most of technological advancements. So I'm now going to pass on to my colleague Julia, who's going to go through our company values and what we expect from you to help the successful implementation of this project.
Great, thanks for that, Lucy, and explaining a little bit more about the structure of the program. Hello, I'm Julia, and I'm one of the Marketing and Business Development Associates. As Lucy mentioned, I'll be covering our core values. So our core values are at the root of what we do, and they're essential to the functioning of our day-to-day business operations. So some of our core values include having integrity and firmly believing that businesses are built first on relationships, and then understanding that businesses are also built on trust as well, on business relationships, as Lucy previously mentioned. Another value is accountability. So being accountable is not only a fundamental core value for us, it is often a sought out trait by many global companies around the world. Having accountability means to be responsible for your actions, behaviors, and responsibilities, both good and bad. Another core value is collaboration. Learning how to collaborate not only with your team, but also your clients. You will need to ensure you are communicating clearly and effectively, and doing so in a transparent manner. Then you have growth and innovation. Treat each day as another opportunity for you to learn and grow from your previous mistakes. Also, do not be afraid to be innovative and drive change, both big and small. Last but not least, do not be afraid to fail forward. Failure is unavoidable, and it's often not how you failed, but how you respond. Use your failure as a learning experience and focus on how you can become stronger for it. Great. So now that we have covered our core values, let's move on to what we expect from you over the course of the next 8 weeks. So you will be expected to work on time-sensitive projects under strict timelines, ensuring all projects are developed within the scope of the work. You will also need to produce work that is in line with the stakeholders' quality expectations and needs, as well as collecting information about the client's businesses using a variety of methods, including shadowing, interviewing, reading reports, as well as analyzing, interpreting data, and identifying your client's weaknesses and clauses. Then you will assess the team in formulating your recommendations and solutions in a concise report, and it's keeping in mind the client's wishes, capabilities, as well as their limitations. You will also need to make sure that you are demonstrating the ability to communicate effectively, consistently, as well as attending all virtual meetings and regular calls with the team. And we can move on to the next slide. In the same way that we have expectations for you, there are also expectations for us as well. Here's what you can expect from us. We will be providing honest, constructive feedback in real-life examples, as well as live feedback whenever possible. We'll also be creating a safe and friendly space for you with a fun and enterprising team and a work culture that allows you to flourish, as well as be highly motivated. We will communicate regularly and maintain a strong connection with you throughout structured communication opportunities, as well as supporting you in building networks and connection through creating remote networking opportunities as well. All right, so now that you know what to expect from us, let's move on to the finer details of this 8-week project. So at Consulting Cole, we highly respect hard work and communication. So by being a part of this, you as an intern will agree to take responsibility of your personal, professional, and ethical conduct while representing MiSK as well as Consulting Cole during the program. You will also need to make sure that you're following Consulting Cole and the client's code of conduct, policy guidelines, dress code, break times, or any other rules and regulations. Failure to do so may result in your participation in the project being reconsidered, so keep this in mind. You'll also need to comply with instructions provided by MiSK as well as the Consulting Cole staff, and making sure that you're also following your managing consultant and your clients. Improper interference with the functioning and the activities of the program that deviates from the accepted institutional, professional, ethical standards will be regarded as misconduct. So make sure that you're applying in a timely manner as well to anyone by MiSK, as well as the Consulting Cole, your managing consultant, as well as your client. And moving on to the next one. You will also need to make sure that you are agreeing to utilize all the resources and the support provided by us, as well as MiSK, leading up to your consulting project. This also includes attending mandatory induction. Make sure that you're completing all tasks assigned to you by your lead consultant, as well as communicating any serious complaints, and including any concerns regarding to your dissatisfaction with the project, with MiSK, or even with us. You also make sure that you need to communicate your preferences clearly with MiSK as well as us, and understand that we will work hard to find a suitable match for your preferences. Okay, so now that we have gone through what we expect from you as well as from us, and what everything will look like within the next 8 weeks, it's now time for you. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask us? You can turn off your mic, do your video, or just simply ask the question in the chat. And I leave it to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. I just want to ask about the groups for this project. When we will do the groups, or how can I know my teams? From who?
Sure. So regarding the group, your induction pack will be with you before 1st of October. So you will have in terms of, we might not have the detail about who will be in your group, but we will provide the detail about who will be your consultant, and we will try and also include the information about your clients and things like that. But you will get inducted to your group on the 5th of October. That's your induction week. So from 5th of October until 8th of October, that's where you'll be meeting your personal group. You will have a call with the consultant, and yeah, from there on, it will start.
Also have another question about the time. Is the time it's only on the United States and the UK, or on Saudi Arabia also? Because you said, I think, from 4 to 10.
Yeah, in terms of the time, we started, it's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. UK time. So if I'm right, that'd be about 11 a.m. to evening, right? 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saudi time. So we might, it depends on, we can't cater to everyone time. So it's the standard UK and US time. But usually the client meeting and the consultant meeting takes place during the morning hours. So just before the midday, or like after your middays. So yeah, in terms of the time, there'll be only 2 time slots, because we are all based in the UK and we follow the UK work hours.
Okay, thank you.
And then regarding the question about, you're technically working with Consulting Co. And working with us as far as in helping with the client. So you'll be working directly with us. You will not be working with a specific company. You're working with us first, who are working with the client, if that makes sense. And trying to go through the questions.
Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for the great presentation. That was really exciting. My question is, I just wonder how's your experience with interns after the program? Are they getting hired by Consulting Co, or are they going to your clients? Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think Julia I can give you a little bit about the Consulting Co, and I'll leave Julia to answer the remaining part. So with the Consulting Co, we are providing, this is a particular program that we created for MiSK, but that means you will get an opportunity to work with a consultant and also work with a client. So some of our consultants are currently, they have their own venture, so they are currently working with the other organizations. So if you do well, they might be able to hire you directly for a particular project. So our consultants come from some of the larger companies. They work with KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, and some of them are at senior position at JP Morgan and things like that. So they agreed to participate on this program and work with us at Consulting Co, but they might be able to hire you directly, but also our clients, if you do well and if you do really well, our clients might be able to hire you, but we can't promise anything from the Consulting Co side. But I'll leave Julia to touch upon the remaining part.
Yeah, so what Nathan, though we cannot guarantee that you will be hired, a lot of the companies we work with are often seeking new talents. So a lot of times with interns, you can be offered a full-time position, offer a further internship, whether remote or in person. So you do have opportunities for after this program with the potential to either continue an internship in person. A lot of the companies, as we said, are based all across both Europe as well as Asia and the UK. So if a particular company is fond of you, sometimes they will bring you in person on an in-person internship between 6 to up to 12 months long to work in their office. It is not something we can guarantee, but keep in mind if this is kind of one of your goals, that your performance is important. So if you want to create the best opportunity, I'd recommend just keeping in mind your performance and how you are working with not only the client, but as well as your team.
Yeah,
I
that's
completely
awesome
agree.
actually. And sorry to interrupt, Lucy. Go ahead.
No, absolutely, go ahead. I was just saying that completely agree with what Julia said. If everyone who is on the call and listening, just make sure that your performance from the outset is 110%, and it will only take you further to places, whether it's been a full-time career with that client. You know, we can't, as we say, we can't guarantee it, but this will lead ultimately to a lot of developing things within your career. So definitely just put all your effort in and make sure that that's kind of seen by the client and the consulting company.
So just to add what Lucy and Julia said, so a lot of these the way that we created this program is for you to meet other consultants, meet some of our clients, and develop that networking opportunity. And many of you have studied abroad. Some of you may still in Saudi Arabia. So this is an opportunity for you to interact with some of the international clients. We will be hosting a lot of the events and potentially bringing some employees to our virtual networking events as well. So you will get an opportunity to kind of meet some of the employees and build that trust and network. So that's the aim of this program.
That's fantastic. Thank you for answering my question.
Very welcome. We've got quite a few questions in the chat at the moment. So should we go into a few here? Naran, do you want to go in explaining about the daily sessions?
The daily session, sorry, I'm looking at. So which one? I'm just looking at it. Okay, so many questions, so let me look at it. We are in the last years regarding the groups and being divided into. Let me just, okay, there will be daily sessions. What do you mean by daily session? What is that like? Are you talking about there will be daily calls with the consultant or daily team, daily meetings with the clients? But let me cover, like, in terms of daily sessions, there won't be daily team meetings, but there will be like weekly team meeting. Maybe it depends on the consultant. Some consultant would like to speak to their team 3 times in a week or 4 times in a week, and some consultants prefer maybe 2 calls, but minimum there would be 2 team meeting, usually at the beginning of the week, so on Monday and then on Thursday. Then there will be individual calls with the consultant as well. So it depends on their availability. So you can book a call with the consultant directly if you want to ask anything or clarify. So our work culture is quite flexible in what I mean by that. So you will be, if you see a free time slot in a consultant diary or someone available, just book a call, speak to them, and don't hesitate. You don't have to wait for the consultant to get in touch with you. I hope that answers the question you may have. And if you want me to go in detail, please let me know. Regarding the groups are being divided based on our majors, depends on, I mean, we have received, as I said during my presentation, we have received nearly 3,000 applications, and this means we have received application from diverse group of individuals, and we have received candidates from computer science students to marketing, English major, history students. So what we are trying to do, we're trying to see what skill set is useful for that particular project. So we have consultants, some of the backgrounds, especially in engineering, and some of them are IT, some of them are finance, and some of them are HR related. So depending on what is the project requirement and what is the consultant's background, we will try and match with your major, with your preference, with the consultant and the project. But we can't promise that an engineering student is going to get just the engineering project. Just to keep in mind, sometimes what we try to see in the management consulting. It's not about what is your major, because we have seen engineering student coming and working and creating business model. It's all about how you think and how you solve the problem rather than what is your major. So that's something you need to understand when it comes to consulting and working as a consultant as well. So Julia, if you want to cover any of the questions.
Yeah, just go.
So I was going to say I'll take the next question. So the next question talking about if you're going to be working for the consulting company or if we're going to find a company. So you will be representing the consulting co. So you'll be working for the consulting company, and then what you'll do, you'll be working on a project, so a client project that we'll provide for you. So you'll always be representing the consulting co, just to clarify.
So just to clarify, in terms of when you work on a client project, usually your supervisor will be the consultant. So depending on your communication style, you will be, when there's a client meeting and things like that, you will be getting a call with the consultant. So, it depends on once you start the work. Sometimes the consultant allocate a particular task to you, or they might ask you to handle the client communication. First of all, you need to build that trust for them to give you that task to you. So, yeah. Julia?
Okay, yeah, so looking for those who are saying I have like other internships or I'm interviewing for a new job, if you have other things going on, please be sure that you're communicating this with us as well as MiSK, because we need to make sure to know where you are. Otherwise, we will take that as a no-show. Also, keep in mind that you are required to work 30 hours a week. So make sure you're thinking about the balance of how you're handling your internship, your second internship, or when you're interviewing for other positions. So if you have specific things going on, just clarify this with your managing consultant as well as us and MiSK, so everyone is on the same understanding as to what's going on for your specific case. And then I know we have some other things going on.
Someone asked a question about can I choose the consultant? I can cover that. So in terms of choosing the consultant, there's no option for the candidate to choose the consultant because we are onboarding. As part of this program, we have to onboard 200 interns, and there is it's impossible for us to adapt to everyone's request. So, but what we will try to do is matching you with a right project and a consultant who has the right background. So then unfortunately there will be no opportunity for you to choose the consultant. But during your program with us, we will make opportunities for you to meet other consultants, so you can still speak to them, and then you can still pick their brain as well. Yeah.
Okay, and we have an additional question. So as I mentioned, the project is related both to your major and your preferences. Your major may not, your major and your preferences. The project may not be. If you are in business but looking to do something more engineering, that might be your preference. So we'll keep in mind both what you are currently studying as well as your preference to see if you would be a good fit for that specific project. So as far as there is going to be a group of between 5 to 6 interns in each group, just to answer that last question. So it's quite small. You'll be getting to know your team members quite well, and teamwork is very important, so we do encourage you taking the time to understand who you're working with.
And you elaborate on that. So, sorry, I was just going to say, so basically this presentation will be sent, so it'll be able to be viewed after this and it's recorded as well, so you'll be able to kind of reflect on the questions that have been asked. So don't worry if you've missed a little bit of information in the slides, you'll be able to see that.
Excuse me?
And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for this great presentation, and as well clearly say that I'm very, very excited for this program. One of my goals after this program is that I get a better chance at landing a job in the consulting firm, in any consulting firm, and I actually have an interview sometime in December with a very big one. So is there any career services that is offered to make sure that candidates actually land a job afterwards? Some sort of like prep for the interviews or tips? And another question in regard to the details of this program, are the groups are going to change, I mean, every like a cycle, like every 4 weeks or every 2 weeks, or is it just going to be like one group that's for the 8 weeks period? Thank you.
Sure. I can cover the first part, the second part of it in terms of the group changing. I think Julia might be the best person to cover about the activities and how we help students in terms of getting the job and the career side of it. So in terms of the group-wise, we will not be switching any groups. It will be one group for 8 weeks and the consultant will be same. And most probably the project will be the same as well, depending on how long is the project. In an 8-week program, this is quite tricky because if you think about it, when you get in a job, you have first 3 months to learn about that place and adapt to the environment. So your first week with this program will be first is the induction week. During the induction week, what we will be doing, we will train you for everything that you need for the next 7 weeks. So things like there will be multiple workshops and live sessions and a lot of things about presentation, masterclass, communications, and client engagement, sort of all related classes and everything will be covered in week 1. That's the induction week is gone. Then you have 7 weeks. So during the 7 weeks, you got to once a candidate on a program. So first 2 weeks is almost like for you to understand about the project, understand about the client, understand what's a deliverable, what is the client scope, what you are expecting, what is the final outcome that we need to produce and everything. So that first 2 weeks is gone in there. You will actually start to work on a client project from week 4, technically speaking. So that's what the client, especially a lot of you are currently at university or you may have a little experience in the consulting sector. So we plan this project in a way that gives you enough time for you to get yourself comfortable with the work environment, understand the client, understand what is it like to work in a consulting firm, and then move on with the project. So projects are usually 8 weeks. 8 weeks, to be honest, is very short. Usually in a consulting firm, we handle projects from 3 months to 6 months. Some projects are 2 years and 1 year, 2 years long. So 8 weeks is very short for a project, and that means we need to make sure we include everything for you to learn there. And during that time, if you switch the group, if you are changing the project, then you will not going to learn anything during that time. So it's very important for us that program is structured and you're learning everything. There is a key learning, and also there is a point that there's feedback and everything. So we will not be switching to other projects or other groups. So that's it. And I'll leave Julia to explain about the career support.
Sure. So as far as in career support, we often do just kind of coaching on one-to-one or sometimes in groups where we discuss your specific goals and what you're looking to achieve. And we can also do interview preparation where we make sure that you are prepared going into the interview either in December or just in general. It's always good just to do mock interviews because it kind of takes out the nerves and it helps you prepare responses that you may receive in a consulting interview. So in some ways, we'll be asking you typical consulting questions that you might receive. So we do help with interview preparation as well as making sure that your CV is edited as well as tailored to make sure it's polished. There aren't any small grammatical errors or any little things that they might completely dismiss you on, and make sure that you overlook. And just kind of make sure that you are overall prepared going into the job interview. Typically, what the whole point of this project is ensuring that you have the experience needed to get into the consulting field. So this means, working on projects that typical consultants work on, as well as making sure that you know how to work in this industry, have a deeper insight into what this industry may mean. And then following that, just making sure that we provide you support and coaching. If you do have any questions as far as regarding your specific interview, for instance, you could just be saying, can you kind of help me understand the typical questions that consultants may ask during an interview? We can help cover that for you. It's all kind of depending upon the candidate. Not every candidate is the same, so the way that we prepare career-wise is always a bit different for each person. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot. One last question. What's next from now until the induction week, or the first week, basically?
Sure. So in terms of the, at the moment, we are still receiving, after the sessions, that a lot of people still need to agree and sign the documents and everything. That I hope you received the email from MiSK, and I think the deadline for that is Sunday, and we will be then, once everyone on board, or whoever accepted, and then after that we will be sending out a small information pack, and so there will be all the what's going to happen next. So just to give you a bit of idea about what's going to happen next, first you will get an email probably on Monday or Tuesday asking you have to complete a small form. In the form, we need to understand your preferences in terms of what kind of consulting project that you would like to work on. And once you receive that information back, then we will then, first of all, you will get an induction pack from us before 1st of October, but we will try and get it out of the way sometime next week or week after, depending on because we are still recruiting, we're still onboarding a lot of the candidates. So you should be receiving emails from us in the next 2 weeks. And before 1st of October, you should all receive your information pack and about who's the consultant, about your first week, and about sometime we might also include the project information there as well. If you haven't received anything by 1st of October, please let us know. Just reach out to us, email us. And also I've noticed some of you mentioned the emails went to spam folder and things. So double check your junk and spam folder to see. So just to make sure you're not missing out on anything. Yep.
Great.
Out of curiosity, one last very question. I'm so sorry, guys. Out of curiosity, and you didn't have to answer me, but yeah, how many are the participants in this program? I've seen 58 in this chat, but probably more or less. I'm not entirely sure.
Sure. So we have, as part of the MiSK requirement, we have to provide 200 internships. So yes, you are the first batch. So we have divided into 2 batches. The first batch is 100 candidates, and you'll be starting your internship on the 5th of October. And the second batch will be starting on the 12th of October. And so yeah, 200 candidates, but we have received nearly about 3,500 applications to select these 200 candidates.
So well done. And then answering question, if you are working at the same time as the program, if you have a specific schedule going on already, use that to make sure you're communicating that with us. So the kind of fixed hours are already fixed. So if you need something outside that structure, make sure you're communicating that with us so we're able to work around that one. So if you do have like your schooling or you have classes during the specific time, or if you're working a job at this time, just make sure you're communicating that. Basically communicate. If you think you're being as clear as you can be even more clear. And if the question is just the job, if you got a job after this project, if it's with one of our companies, we mostly work with companies that, as we said, based in Asia, US, and Europe. So a lot of them are international. So it could be an international job, whether you're working remotely or whether you're coming into that specific country to work with them. It will be most likely abroad. Of course, that's your decision if you want to work abroad or if you want to work remotely. It is your career. So it's your decision on that one.
And a few candidates have been asking about time. So just to clarify, if you are working with the UK team, then that'll be 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. UK time, not Saudi Arabian time or EST. And if you're working with the US team, then that'll be 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. or sometimes 11 p.m. UK time. So we're not sure. I don't know what is the EST will be. I think EST is about 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's just to clarify the time zone. And
yeah.
And also, I can see a few questions regarding the engineering, whether they can work on an engineering project or law, regarding major in law and things like that. So just to clarify, in terms of we have projects which are from engineering firms as well as projects within the legal sector. So a project which involves legal or anything, it's usually compliance. Let's say if a client is a private equity firm or venture capital, if they are looking to invest in, let's call it, in Singapore, and they want to invest in biomedical sector, and they want us to do all the research. So that means we need to look into regulations, understand the market and everything. So as part of that project will be legal research as well. We do have a consultant whose background is a legal. She come from legal background, and she worked with the one of the prime minister in the UK, Tony Blair, and she was part of creating a project, a large legal project in the UK. So yes, we do have consultant with the background in legal, engineering, technology, and so on.
If you, for Ruba, you said is looking for a full-time job and you might need to be excused to attend some interviews. As I mentioned earlier, just make sure you're communicating that with us, but you will also be expected to be committed to this program. So keep in mind that even though you're interviewing for other things, you still need to be committed to this project as well. If you do get an offer in the middle of the internship, you said you need to contact us about the timing. That's perfectly fine. As I mentioned, if you think you're being as clear as possible, be even more clear than that. And then as far as improving yourself to the company and then having a better chance to be hired, so that every employer is a bit different. Usually the best way to do that, and I think Lucy might be the best person to answer this, she works with partner companies. So Lucy, if you want to take that on, because I feel like I've been speaking quite a lot.
Yeah, no problem. So in this sense, just put in 110%, really research your field and just show that you're committed. Just think outside the box, and just show that you're really passionate about the project that you're working on. A lot of it is your attitude and how much you're willing to commit yourself to the project. So obviously we said in the slides about, there's a lot of research that you do in this consulting project, and that's really a key part of the success, and it will just show your kind of innovation, your creativity, and just be really, really communicate properly with clarity, and just show that you're really passionate about what you do, and you really want to kind of commit yourself to providing a solution. At the end of the day, a lot of these employers will hire you based on what they see as commitment to the company, and how much you dedicate your skills and your passion, how much you're willing to learn.
Yeah. And touch on that, passion is kind of a big thing. Be energetic about the project that you're working on. Companies want to see that you're excited to be working on this project, and that excitement is a big thing. So don't be afraid to show that you're excited about the project.
Not just to show.
It's all about enthusiasm.
Yeah, not just to show. Actually, like if you you should really understand your project, and yes, that's a big thing. And also the consultant wants to see how committed you are to the project. And if the consultant don't feel like that you are putting 100% or 110% to this project, then they can actually remove you from the program or from that project. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and it will be a remote program at the moment, obviously with everything that's going on at the moment. This is the safest option. So for the 8-week program, this will be fully remote.
And it is recorded, and you will be able to rewatch it later. Perfect. I think that's all general question. Are there any other questions you would like to ask us?
We can take
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
I'd like to, first of all, thank you all so much for this effort. And second of all, I want to follow up on the usual question that you got, which is about time. I'm currently a student, and I have a sort of a moderate schedule, not that heavy, but I can be flexible. But I just want to make sure that it won't hinder my performance in the internship, and whether that would disqualify me if, let's say, my schedule overlaps with the times that I need to be expected to be there.
So to clarify your question, you just want to make sure that your internship doesn't overlap with your schedule?
I want to know whether you guys can be flexible and I can be flexible, so we can find a good way for us to work.
I think.
Yeah, in terms of the flexibility, it depends. If there is no client meeting or if there is no team meeting, then yes, you can tell the consultant, I've got a class, can I go and come back at this time? I'm sure they are quite flexible. They understand that some of you are at university and this is term time. But if you are missing out constantly, if you are missing out a team call, which is usually 1 or twice a week, and if you missed out on the team call, then you don't know what's going in the project, and that means you will fall behind the project, because at the end of the day, it's all about communication. It's all about understanding the project and working as a team. So if you don't have that opportunity then if you don't have the opportunity to attend the team meeting, then that might be cause little problem. And apart from the other one, in terms of then you can also set up individual calls with the consultant as well. But if you miss the team call and if you just want to catch up with the consultant, then it's actually kind of like a waste of their time. And then, so you need to find a balance. You need to see, at least I would recommend at least attend the team meetings and the client meetings. You can definitely, I mean, if there is a client meeting, you can definitely let them know I've got a lecture I cannot miss. But again, if you miss out on client meeting, then you don't know what the client expect, but you can definitely speak to your team member. Maybe some of your team member may be able to help you with that, understand. And also during the team meeting as well, consultant will explain a bit more about what the client expecting and everything. But that's a two major areas I'm looking at. So and apart from that, the other hours are quite flexible. So if you have a lecture, if you have other things to do, then you can work on your things. But these tools are not flexible really. So because that means if you have to change the time for one student, that mean the other 5 also, other 4s also need to be available at that time. So it'd be quite tricky. But there is a flexibility in this one. Yeah.
So basically, I need to prioritize the team meetings and client meetings. Other than that, I can just finish my tasks.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, client meeting and because if you don't attend the client meeting and team meeting, you don't know what's going on in the
I don't
project.
know.
You can read the brief, you can understand, but you'll be missing a lot of information, because a lot of the time what happens when you're in a consulting sector, about 80% of the time, client doesn't know exactly what is the final deliverable of what they want. So when you speak to the client, you ask a lot of the question. The consultant speak to the client, ask a lot of the smaller detail you get during that initial brief or during the client calls or when you speak to the team. That's where you learn a lot. So if you missed out on that, then that'll have a huge impact on your entire intake.
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. There'll be 200. Someone asking about 200 people. There'll be about 200 people.
Yeah, I'm
Hello?
seeing. So, oh, sorry. Carry on with your question, and I'll go into that.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. But firstly, thank you very much for your efforts. My question is who's gonna be in charge of the hour for the time that on the project I'm gonna work on, like Nesma or the company for the consulting.
So if I'm to understand, who will be responsible to make sure that you are working or you're online? Is that right? Or the hours?
No, I'm saying like who's gonna be in charge for the hours that for the attending hour on the project.
So we have Microsoft Teams, which is our the remote collaboration tool. So when you sign into Microsoft Teams, it will automatically log about whether you are online, how many hours you're online, how many, what you're doing, and everything will be logged as well. So in terms of where you have a system in place to see that part, just to understand a little bit more in terms of the supervision side of it, that'll be your consultant. I'm not sure, Julia, is that the right question? I'm trying to kind of like put this question together to understand.
Yeah, so Microsoft Teams will be monitoring what you're doing, kind of what you're online, but you will be tasked with your management consultant who will be overviewing your small team. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
No problem. And also, few people asking about 200 people, whether we like in terms of projects. So yes, there will be 200 candidates, but we have nearly 40 projects. So each individual team will be working on a particular project. You will not going to be working on the same project. So we do have a lot of projects, even though we have the interns and groups. So that's how we do.
Yeah, and in terms of job opportunities, so there's no guaranteed with the particular client that you'll be working with that there is a job opportunity, but this is really valuable experience moving forward. So you'll be able to obviously put this on your CV, and it can really open doors for opportunities either with the client if that becomes available, or with other obviously employers as well. So just really use this as a great experience for the future.
Okay, what other questions?
So we have 5 more minutes for you guys to ask any last 3 questions.
So the last one, as long as you're doing your tasks and attend 2 to 3 meetings weekly, it'll be fine to not strictly stick around the 8 hours. So you do need to, they said the important part is the client meeting as well as the team meetings, and you are doing your tasks. Just make sure that you are keeping the 30 hours per week in mind. If you can do the 8 hours daily, that would probably be more recommended, but just make sure you're hitting the 30 hours. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's about working, completing your task on time. So again, you are expected to complete things before the deadline, whether you're working, whether you're staying online 8 hours a day, whether you're logging in the midnight to work. It's not a problem, but just keep in mind also the consultants are only available during the business hours. So if you want to get their help, then you need to be online during that hours. And after that, if you are not available during the day for some reason, and if you want to work during the night, that's completely fine. You can do that. But yeah, just as Julia said, 30 hours is what we are expecting from.
So as far as in, will the group be all people from Saudi Arabia or internationally? So the groups are split between preferences as well as major. So there's a chance that you could be working with someone on your team is from the U.S. even though you're from Saudi Arabia, I believe. So it's a great way to meet other people that are not from the same country as you. So if you've ever met someone from the U.S. and there's your opportunity, you can ask us about food. We love talking about food. So
you can ask Julia about that. So she's from the US. So.
Hey, first of all, thank you so much for your effort today. Appreciate your time also. I've heard you talk about a lot of majors like finance or marketing business, but I didn't hear you talk about let's talk first, for example, about my last experience with McKinsey program. I haven't seen many participants with medical background. So is there any projects related to medical or something like this?
So in terms of medical project, it's one of the industry that we don't get into the detail of anything to do with the medicine or things because certain industries are restricted in terms of those regulations and things like that. So we don't get into detail about the pharmaceutical and medical, but we do work with some medical health technology companies. There are some of our clients are in the health education, health technology business and things like that. So we do have clients are in the medical technology space. We do work with some clients are with the pharmaceutical sector, but they're more like a pharma tech than anything to do with the healthcare industry, because in the UK there are some regulation in terms of working in the healthcare settings and things like that. So we do have some projects, some clients in the sectors, and we have noticed some clients, some of you are coming from various background, things like we have even noticed there's a candidate with the MBBS background. So we do have some projects in that space, but it's very, very limited. So yeah.
Hello. Thank you for your presentation. I have 2 questions. The first is, what about the internship certificate? Does the consulting company provide us with the certificate? And the second question is the acceptance guaranteed once we sign the consent and submit it? Thank you very much.
So the internship certificate, that we've been getting a lot of questions about certificates. So in the UK, we don't have a culture of providing a certificate, but what we do is as part of at the end of the program, we will provide a completion letter. So to confirm that you have enrolled into this program and you have completed working with us for a particular period. But if you need a recommendation, usually, I'm not sure about the companies in Saudi Arabia, but in the Western world, when you apply for the jobs, they will ask you a reference. So the reference you usually can give your previous colleagues or the consultant that you work with. So if you do really well during the project, you can ask the consultant the personal recommendations. So they can then provide you a personal recommendation on our letterhead, and that will be more detailed. But then for that, you need to make sure that you are doing well and the consultants are happy with your performance. So they can reject, they can say no. They will not going to give you a reference if they think that you're not meeting their expectation. But just to clarify, but we will give a completion letter confirming that you have enrolled and completed this program if you have completed the program. But if you dropped out in the middle, then we might not be able to give you that completion letter.
And what about the acceptance? Is it guaranteed once we sign the consent?
Yes, it is guaranteed once you sign the letter, the information that you receive from MiSK, and unless there is a major gross misconduct or anything like that, then otherwise it's guaranteed.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I have a question here.
Sure.
First of all, thank you for the presentation, and I really want to know, when did Consulting Co. started?
So the Consulting Co. is a division within the capital placement. So capital placement started back in 2012. So we kind of coexisted. But in terms of taking the interns, this is the first time we are taking a large batch of interns. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No
Okay. Hello. Julia, you said if you have a problem with the time or with anything that I should tell you. So I should tell you in email or where?
Email is best, so you want to make sure that it's written down and communicated. Not only you need to tell us, you also need to make sure that you're telling your management consultant once you receive your package, and also as men. So just make sure you are kind of covering your bases in every single person so everyone is clear, and we have it in writing that you have a specific schedule.
Okay, I only have Mr. Niranjan email only, or Niran, sorry, is it
Sure.
Niran, right?
Yeah, I think like you will get in terms of when you receive the induction pack, you will have all the information about who to contact. Anything to do with the HR related queries, like things like that you are looking to take off, or you are not available, or you're not happy with the program, anything like that, I would say first of all you can contact your management consultant. You can let them know, and then we do also have an HR department. You can kind of like reach out to them, and you can let them know if you have any specific HR/administration related inquiries or any concerns, and you can let them know, and you will have all the contact details and everything. And you should have received an email from MiSK. In there you should have our email address is hr@theconsulting, theconsulting.co. Yeah.
All right, final question. When will be the recording available? It will be on YouTube, of course, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
When will be the recording available? It will be on YouTube, right?
Not YouTube. We will need to upload. Usually, it will be in our internal system, and we will share the link with you. So it might not go into YouTube.
So but when it will be available?
Probably before by end of the day today. So if not by early morning tomorrow. So hopefully end of the day straight after this call. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem.
So I've seen, the main reason of the consulting project, is it to make us learn or for companies to choose us, whatever. So the main reason for the project is this is to provide you with a core learning experience in consulting. Essentially, it will kickstart your consulting career, and it gives you the opportunity to really test whether this is the career path for you. Do treat this as potentially a path to a job at the end of it. You never know. But the main reason is this is your learning experience and you take away a really, really valuable experience. There's not many opportunities where you can work with real businesses, especially when you're in an educational period. So really use the value of this to benefit whatever job opportunity you do have in the future. You know, you'll really reflect on everything you learn in this scenario. So that is the main reason. It's a core learning experience, and I can guarantee that you'll reflect on it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and just to add on that point, you know, we can't guarantee that you're all going to get jobs just by entering this program, but it's like, I wish we are in a position to say you all get the job after this. So it's not the case. So we are mainly, as Lisa said, our main focus is to help you develop that skill that you need to, whether you are getting into management consulting or going into somewhere else. We are here to provide that skill, and hopefully there might be some offer or anything from the consultant or the company, but we can't promise or guarantee anything. Yeah, so that's it.
All right.
Will I be working financial services consulting? I think I've been getting this question again. One is about, can I choose between UK and US times? Yes, you'll be able to pick that. So we are going to send out an email most probably on Monday or Tuesday. I need to check with the team. On that email, there will be a link that you need to complete a small form. And when you complete the form, you'll be able to pick the time, which one of the time you would like to work. And then, yeah, you will be able to choose your time zone there. And once you pick the time zone, just keep in mind it'll be difficult to move from there because you will be allocated a consultant who is based in the US with our team in the US. And so if you pick UK hours, then you'll be allocated with our team in the UK, or at least the team that works in the UK time zones. The other question about, so I'm a finance graduate, will I be working on a financial services consulting? It depends on, I mean, like if you're a finance graduate, it really depends on the project, and we do have some of the project which require financial analysis, modeling, and all sort of financial works. But again, I cannot guarantee anything that you will be working purely on a financial services consulting, because sometimes we have clients who might need a market research or market report, and as part of the market report, we have to do the financial research. So financial research will be the aspect of the project, but it's not going to be the core project. We are not providing a financial services consulting here. We are providing a market research consulting. But we are the smaller aspect of the project will be a financial research. So that's how it works. Yeah. So we can, so we can take one more last question if you guys, anyone want to ask, and turn on your mic, and if you want to ask, and that's all. Okay. Great, Julia.
All right. Great. So that's kind of it for us, guys. If you, like I said, this recording should be uploaded and up either by the end of today or early tomorrow. So just keep your eyes out for that. And, you know, the biggest takeaway is that this experience is going to be quite beneficial for you and give you the practical experience needed to move into building a really great career. So keep your eyes peeled, keep the energetic focus, and if you have any questions, make sure to ask us as well as communicate. Lucy, do you have any final words?
Yeah, just congratulations to everyone who's here with us on the presentation. There was a lot of applicants, and it's obviously been narrowed down to a small number. So you've all got a lot of qualities that I'm sure that you'll be able to show within this project. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how this project goes with everyone. And yeah, if you have any other questions, just don't be afraid to ask.
Perfect. So yeah, on that note, congratulations all. And I'm sure like a lot of you want to be a management consultant or want to get into management field. But again, just to highlight, this program is created for you to kind of give the flavor of what is it like to work in a management consulting firm. I'm sure you guys have worked, some of you already worked there. But and at the end of it, some of you might realize, management consulting is not for me. I don't even want to go somewhere near to that industry. So, but regardless of whatever the outcome is, what you will learn is the skill that you need to, whether to go into a management consulting firm or whether to go into becoming an engineer or getting into project management, whatever it is, that we are just looking at to build that skill. So congratulations, and looking forward to meeting you all one by one throughout the next 8 weeks once you start the program. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. And if you guys have any questions, just email us.